let's see. Look at there. White as it can be. Yay! That worked. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to day 41 of this RV bedroom remodel makeover that I've been working on forever. It feels like, but I am getting close to the finish line. Tonight I am going to finish putting the first layer of our first coat, or however you want to put it, of paint on the carpet. I've got one section, let me show you. This section over here that I've still got to put some paint on. And then this other section, you can see that I need to do a second layer and kind of bring it all in together. So I'll be working on finishing up the first layer, and then tomorrow, hopefully, come back and do that second layer and be done with that part. I still have to scrape some paint off of some windows around where, like on that door where I painted on the door and got the paint on the window. I didn't put tape on that one. And then I need to, tonight I'm going to be touching up the paint on, on these chairs. You can see there's some spots that are now apparent that I missed. On both chairs, I'm going to kind of put an extra coat on the top to kind of give it a more uniform coloring. And I'm about to test out where I put Scotchgard waterproofing on the ottoman. I've got two ottomans. I put it on both of them. If you'll remember, before when I would rub it with my hand, the paint wouldn't come off on my hand. But when I take a paper towel, it would have like a powdery blue little on the paper towel. And we don't want that, because we want to be able to sit on it with white clothes and not have to worry about getting any powdery paint on us. So I'm about to test that out, and appreciate you joining. If this is your first time joining us, there's a link in this description of this video that will take you to the full playlist if you want to watch all 40 days leading up to today. And appreciate you joining us. Be sure and give us the like button and subscribe, follow, all that jazz. And let's get started on getting toward the finish line on this project. Okay, the first thing I want to do is test out with this paper towel. I'm really hopeful that waterproofing did the trick. So let's see. Look at there. White as it can be. Yay! That worked. Okay, so I'm going to be taking that off and sliding it underneath, and then putting some more paint on the chair itself. Got to be careful now. I don't want to get more blue paint on my carpet, because I've already painted here. I don't want to mess that up. These things are really heavy. I didn't realize it went in there sideways. There we go. All right. So let me just put this down here just to be safe. And let me go get my paint, my blue paint. I haven't used it in a while. I've still got some in the bucket. It's probably all real thick. Definitely still some paint in here. It's nice and heavy. So let's see how that is looking. Get all these extra paint brushes out of here. I just left these paint brushes sitting in the paint in this bucket. So I believe I can still use them. Rake those off. Stir this paint up in here. It seems to be about the same consistency as it was when I closed it up. And once these dry, from what I'm fixing to put on it now, then I will spray that Scotch Guard on it as well. That's the Scotch Guard I used. If y'all would like a link to get that off of Amazon, I can give you a link to that. Definitely going to make it where we can paint cloth furniture like this and sit on it. My daughter's already said she's going to do that with hers. Some chairs that she has as well. Alright, so let's start with this other chair back here first. There we go. And I'm just going to be doing a light coat tonight. They've already been well painted, but I just not satisfied with the uniformity of the paint. So let's see if we can make it a richer, smoother color. I'm liking that better already. I need to put my glasses on, don't I? All right. Okay. Just a little bit that way. Really not interested in getting paint on my clothes. I have, during this project, have managed to get some paint on some clothes that I didn't intend to. A smart person would have put on some old clothes that it didn't matter. A lot of times I would just come and start painting whatever I'd been wearing for work that day. Yeah, this is going to look better with this extra coat of paint on here. Some of it was darker in spots than other spots. Put my glasses on again. Still haven't gotten my prescription glasses that I've ordered. So just using these little readers. Well, you can see these indentions where I had the Ottoman sitting on top of this thing. Having to dig down in that indention to get the paint in there. Alright, coming along here. Oh man, my knees are tired. Alright, all I got left is this one little front on this on here, and then I'll be done with the chairs. The only thing left will be the Scotch card. Alright, that looks good. My opinion. Alright. Still will hold on to this paint just a little while longer to make sure I don't come across any other spots that need to be touched up. Alright, take this on out of here. Trying to figure out the best way for you all to see what I'm doing, but yet not paint myself into a corner. Haven't quite figured it out yet. I think I'm going to have to walk across the paint this time, which is not a big deal, but alright, so folks, I'm going to have to crawl into this corner here. I'll be using a small sponge to paint back in that corner. There's absolutely no way that I know of to have it where you can watch what I'm doing. I don't want you just staring at my backside and not see what I'm doing. So I'm going to pause the video till I get this part back in here done, as far as for what I've got to hand paint, which is all the little corners and edges. Okay, folks, I have painted all around the edges back in here in this section with a sponge paintbrush, and just dipping it out of the bucket there, and put a little extra around where the air vent will go, air vent cover, whatever you call it. And that one little area right here, for some reason it's indented down. So I know that where there's an indentation in the carpet, I have to use the sponge brush on it because the roller won't get in there very good. I have no idea why that was indented down. It's like a rectangle area coming out from under the bed. I haven't figured out what that was that caused that. And then right here, where the carpet meets the floor, I made a mess. I'm fixing to get a paper towel and clean that up. Alright, I'll probably use a paint shield to finish up around that part. Wiped right up. Good deal, good deal. Alright. Now, I'll continue on with crawling around and using the little sponge brush on the edge there, along the base of the wall, on this little area that's lifted up where the slide out comes in. Gotta do all that by hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all that done before I start rolling the rest of this carpet. I'm trying to put a little bit heavier in these areas that I'm having to sponge brush, hoping I don't have to do a second coat. We'll see. If it doesn't saturate very well, I will definitely be doing a second coat. Just rub it in. Put it on nice and heavy and rub it in. You can tell if this is picking up fibers off of the carpet. Yeah, that's what it is. Look at that. Ugh. Like some long hairs or something. You'd think after vacuuming this carpet and shampooing it before that, like we did, wouldn't have that. This area back here in this corner is stained from where at one point in time there was a leak on the slide out on that end. We had that repaired, but the carpet still has that dark stain on it, so I'm looking forward to covering that up. Let's see if that can help me paint the edge of this carpet without painting my linoleum. Oh yeah, that's working good. All right. Whew. Okay. All right, let's turn this way. Maybe you can see me paint back here in this corner with the roller. Still using this one roller and wrapping it up with plastic wrap so that it stays nice and wet with paint. Now, if anyone is joining us for the first time, the way you can paint carpet or the chairs, the fabric, is to mix fabric softener in with the paint. So I just got some regular latex paint, the cheapest paint that Home Depot would colorize for me, color match. And so you take 1 part, or I use 1 scoop or 1 cup of paint, and 1 scoop, same amount of fabric softener. And then on the chairs I did 1 cup of water. So 1 part paint, 1 part water, 1 part fabric softener. Now when it came to the floors, I'm doing 3 parts water. So 1 cup of paint, 1 cup of fabric softener, and 1 cup of water. I wanted it to be a little thinner, really work it down into these fibers. Didn't want it to be, you know, thick on there. I almost wonder if I'd have been better off doing the chairs that way as well. But, you know, I would have thought that the color would be lighter. The paint color of the paint would get lighter with mixing all that stuff in with it. But it actually didn't. It stayed the same. It just changes how thick it is. And one thing I was surprised about was how thick the fabric softener caused it to be. Now with enough water, I could have used a sprayer. But when you just mix fabric softener and paint in equal parts with water, it is really thick, like pudding. I found a good deal on some fabric softener that was dye free, didn't have any colors in it. If you're interested in getting that good deal, just write fabric softener in the comments and I will give you a link to that good deal on that fabric softener. Alright, so I'm going to stop at this point and fluff up this carpet. So I've got a bristle brush. I'm going to rake it, kind of get that paint down into the fibers and fluff up the fibers. And then I've got a sponge mop. I'm going to kind of go back and forth and work it down into the fibers even more. Wow, I'm really loving the way this is looking. So much better than that old stained carpet that I had. Nice. Alright. And do the bristle one more time. After I get this all done, I'll turn a fan on overnight to help it to dry. So tomorrow I can come in and put the second coat on. Getting close to being done. Alright. Now let's put this back here. I'm going to do the rest of this carpet right here. I'm going to have to mix up some more paint. Got the water with that cup. My fabric softener with this cup. And then where's my paint? Here's my paint. Shake this up a little bit. Okay. Alright, y'all. I'm about to paint myself into a corner here. I gotta pull this fan out of here. Feeling a little bit too disorganized here. Alright, folks. Trying to get organized here. Alright, so we're going to mix up some more paint. I did not find my paint can opener, but thankfully I hadn't hammered this down, so it's easy to open. Alright. I'm gonna get a cup full of paint. I would hate to drop this little cup down in this paint. If I did, I'd probably just leave it. Almost there. cup full of paint. Cup full of fabric softener. And then 3 cups of water. Let me put this paint. All right. Get that stirred up real well. Now, y'all, if I had only put 1 cup of water in here, you'd see this stuff thickening up like pudding, but it's pretty much going to thicken to the point of almost as thick as the paint was to begin with. Did I count 3 cups of water? Seems like it's getting thicker than usual. About to say goodbye to the rest of this beige carpet. Good riddance. Y'all, I just don't know where to put anything. Barely enough to do this first little coat. Well, I've got more in the picture, but as far as what I've poured out, oh wow, it's really coming off there, isn't it? I really appreciate those of you that have come into the comments and have encouraged me to keep pressing forward. All right. I think that I'm not going to worry about wrapping this one up. Tomorrow, when I come to do the second coat, I'm going to start with a fresh roller. Mainly because I don't want to have to mess with it right now. Alright, let's see if I can tilt that over. There we go. Good job, good job. Alright. I'll use the bristle brush. Y'all, I think I'm getting tired. Okay. Let me use the sponge mop. Work it down into the fibers. And then the bristle one more time. All right, folks, I'm tired. I have worked my way into a corner here. Well, I'm just standing in the doorway of the room. But this concludes the work that I'm going to do today. I'm fixing to turn the fan on so it can be drying overnight. And tomorrow I'll come in and do the second coat. And then I'll be really close to finishing this project. Be ready to put my new curtains up and my new comforter and pillows and all that jazz. If you're still watching, you must be liking what you're seeing, so please click that like button. Subscribe and follow my channel. It'd be fantastic. If you want to share this on social media, that would be wonderful. But anyway, we will see you tomorrow, and hopefully not long after that for the grand finale, where I'll have a recap of all the days and Grandpa Ricky's reaction to the changes in this room, because I haven't let him see it at all. He's been a good boy not coming in. Anyway, see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.